Good morning, everybody. Another episode of the Keep Going podcast, athletes shining a light on mental health. Super excited. It's a Mother's Day episode, and we got Fueled by AF in the building. What is going on, Angelica?
What's going on? I'm not a mom yet, but I'm a mom of three businesses. So I guess that's how we're going to apply it
I
today.
think I think we start there. How does it feel right off the cuff having that many businesses? How many balls are in the air? Talk to
Oh,
the normal entrepreneur right now.
oh my God. When we would go to the ball pit as a kid and you like got lost in there? That's me.
Yep.
Um, that's how it's going. It's honestly great. And I think a lot of people are like, this is crazy, but if you talk to any entrepreneur, they always have more and more ideas. And if you can get one idea to feed off of the other, they work really synergistically. So that's what I'm doing. I'm really taking my vision and my goal of employing people with disabilities and putting it in the forefront and growing these businesses with that in mind. So, yeah, it is crazy to have three businesses, but it is like very much so synergistic to each other. They have a huge why, and we're doing exactly what I want to do.
I love that. And obviously, we go way back from high school. To be
Yeah.
very transparent for our audience today, weren't that close. I'd love to say that we were like really
Yeah,
good
no, we
friends and all
weren't.
this stuff. But it's funny when you get connected with people after the fact, right? You see kind of how people mature and grow and professionalism, all that good stuff. But
Totally.
but honestly, you've always been a go-getter, even since back in
Thank
the
you.
day. Do you think that had to do a lot with being a high school athlete, being a college athlete? Where does the root of this kind of tie to?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Growing up as a kid, I struggled with a lot of learning disabilities, and my parents threw me in swimming.
I didn't see.
Uh,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled hard in high school. So, fun fact, I don't know, I think you were in my reading class. I was in AP English my senior year, but
Mhm.
I had the reading level of a fourth grader. Like,
I never knew that. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I really struggled. So, school was hard for me, but swimming and sports I just loved. And I was able to connect. But I think what the sports taught me that I've brought into my business life is, there's a lot of commotion and everything going on. But if you can find one thing you love and stay in your lane and just practice and do that over and over again, I was a swimmer. So that's how I think. I got really good at stuff. And, my coaches were like, try this. Like, just try it for a practice and see if you can do it. And the more I sat in that uncomfortable space and working on a stroke or a technique that I hated or, didn't go well for me, I found that I got better. And I apply that to business every day. So I have a 5 minute rule for myself in business and for all my employees. We all have to do a skill we don't like for 5 minutes. Like we have to
I
try it
love
for
that.
five minutes.
Please elaborate. Please elaborate on that. Yes.
So I will be transparent. I don't love social media. I don't love posting, working on it. So, good morning. I
Yep. You see my
take
wife there? Yep. I had to shout her
yes.
out. Go ahead.
I take 5 minutes to work on something. So for the social media, like if I'm on the phone working and I have 5 minutes there, I have to grab at least one idea from social media and send it to our team, or I have to post, or I have to generate some sort of content to send to our team because the only way I'm going to get better at things I'm bad at is to practice the skills that go into it. So now we use this with our employees. Like what the other day, we got some new packaging and everyone was kind of like grumbling, I don't like it. It's different. It's harder. And so I set a timer up for 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, you guys are going to, like, I don't want it to be fast, but you have to just do as many perfect bags as you can in 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then at the
Yep.
end, they're like, it's so cute. I love it. And I was like, okay, there we go. We're
Right.
changing the
Yes.
attitude. It's all about your mindset too,
Exactly.
because I think if you sit in that uncomfortable, dark place for long enough, you'll get really good at what you need to do.
Completely agree. And I think sometimes throwing yourself into those situations, change and friction go hand in hand. They really do.
Totally.
But the other end of that and the creativity and the collaboration and camaraderie that comes with change, I think is so beneficial. In your business, in businesses, it's a little bit different because you're working with employees with special needs. Can you elaborate on your passion for that and what the differences are there?
Um, I I'll be honest, everyone is like, oh, is there a person in your family? Like, and I said, no, there's no one person, but I think I truly discovered in college. I was a collegiate swimmer, and after practice, there was the adaptive swim team. I just loved when they came in. I was like, this is awesome. This is so much fun. They like love the opportunity. I just complained for 2 hours about swimming in this pool, and like, this is the highlight of their day. So I'm like,
Oh,
I think, there's a lot of opportunity here. So when I graduated college, came back and worked in the city, I asked my employer, can I add an adaptive fitness program here? And the answer was no. And I was like, well, okay, then I'll just go find a way to be involved in this community without being at work.
yes.
And I loved it. Like, I just was like, these are my people. I get them. They get me. Like, they love and respect me. And I feel the same about them. And then when COVID hit, I saw this massive gap in the market. To date, 89% of individuals with disabilities are unemployed. It is extremely high. And there's so many things that go into this, but I really wanted to focus on employing them, but not just giving them a monotonous job that's like stocking a shelf. I wanted to give them a job where they can learn how to operate equipment and like really feel like they have a hand in the game and use their skill set to shine. And that's exactly what we've done.
And I would tell you this too. In a world right now in 2026 where
Mm-hmm.
money is on everybody's mind,
Mm-hmm.
finances and capital in a world that seems to be falling behind. How do you manage the two of them? Because I've worked with special needs kids, of course. I work a lot with Miracle League and Joliet. I work for
Yep.
NWSRA coming up. I'm passionate about it. It's a really awesome thing. How do you combine the two and make it work?
Well, you can't have philanthropy without profitability, right? Like I can't do this if
Amen.
I don't have money. And if you come to our kitchen and work or our manufacturing plant, I mean, I have taught them. Like you have to teach. Just because they're special needs doesn't mean they can't learn about money. But the other
Absolutely.
thing is, I run a very lean company in order to keep them. So, we're going down the road of growing our businesses, and I've made choices. Yes, there is a choice where I could get a new account that would bring a ton of money in, but the profit margin on that is a sliver. And God forbid one thing goes wrong, the business will be shut down. So it's way too high risk. I'll end up losing my employees and it's not going to work. But the other thing that I think I've had to teach, learn, and explain is like parents will drop their child off at work and be like, oh, like they're just not going to understand XYZ, whatever that might be. Like they can't do the boxes or whatever the skill is. And I was like, it's okay, we
You
can
don't
change that.
you don't think they have any barriers, do you?
I don't. Like I really
I
think
love
that
that. I love that.
I don't. Because and here's why I think this. As a student that grew up with a ton of learning disabilities, like my parents, I would come home from school with like my history test and I had like a D on it. And it wasn't because like I didn't love history, but it wasn't because I didn't study. I could not understand. Like my form of ADHD is comprehension. And I have dyslexia and I struggled, but my parents were never like, oh, it's acceptable. You got a D because you have these learning disabilities. Like we need to find another way to work around this. So when I teach my employees, I teach them like, we need this to look like this or be done like this because in the end this brings us money and that money allows me to pay you, bring you to outings. Like you have to give them a why for why I need it done the right way, not just because I said so.
That's a beautiful thing. And I've never really thought of it like that. Do you really stem it back to your parents and your experience
Yeah.
is why you feel so passionate about it now and why you think there's no boundary or barrier?
Yeah, I mean, like I sit there and like, I mean, you were in class with me, you never knew that. Like,
No, no clue until
yeah,
today
not a
on
clue.
the morning podcast. Yes.
Correct. Like, I don't think like as a student, I ever like other kids in my class would know that I struggled so hard with school because that wasn't a thing. Like, my parents were not like, yeah, you were dealt these cards and this is your life, and we got to proactively figure out something else. So then what I figured out in college was my dyslexia and ADHD was mild down if I read my books on a bike. So I go to the fitness center
Wow.
with the
Okay.
bike and I would read it. And then like coming forward, all these studies started coming out about like, kids with ADHD, like fidget spinners and like moving. and like doing stuff, clicking things, working with their hands. I'm like, this makes sense because that's how I am. And I think when we grew up in school, it was like very much so like you sat in a desk and you had to be quiet.
It was almost looked down on, truthfully, back in
No,
that
it was.
time. Yeah.
I was told by several teachers, like, you're distracting, you're this. And I was like, yeah, but I can't sit in this desk and listen to you talk about physics for 50 minutes. Like, I can't. So I'm
Lack of
trying.
understanding. And you can't blame him at that time. It was
No, you can't.
lack of knowledge and not getting it. I will tell you, I was one of those kids as well. I'm still one of those guys at 31
See?
where I look back, and this is 180 episodes in, and we look back, and my favorite episodes usually are when I'm walking, when I'm riding the bike, when I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
something that kind of projects what I'm thinking about, which I love that you just brought that up because I don't think anyone's ever covered that on the podcast before. So
Oh,
thank you.
yeah.
I do have a question for the younger generation though. We
Yeah.
have a lot of high school kids, a lot of parents that listen, right?
Okay.
You're someone that went on, you played and competed at a high level. You
Yep.
do a great job as a young professional now, but it wasn't always this way. So like
Oh.
where was the keep going moment in all this where you felt like, oh, I might not get to the other side, but you did?
I think that happens every single day. Every day, if you don't wake up and say, I'm going to look the devil in the eyes today and figure this out, like you're going to lose. And any athlete listening to this, athletes hate losing, right?
Yeah.
But I do say this, like when I've coached and I've done it myself, like I'm even better now than I was before. I had to groom my brain and my thinking to say, I have to go to work or practice or whatever on the bad days to really like appreciate the good days or the good races or good competitions that I'm going to have. I distinctly remember I was in my, I want to say junior year of college. I was like one of the only kids on the team taking winter classes. I was double majoring. Like I took on this workload that was crazy. And we were in winter swim practice and I had to miss practice because I had to be in class. So everyone had to do this hellacious workout together, and I showed up and had to do it alone. And I was like crying in my goggles, like I was like so mad and like miserable. And my coach didn't really say anything, but it was me. I like sat on that wall and I was like, "Are you gonna make?" By the way, this was the workout. I don't know if you know about swimming. It was 2,400 IMs. That is insanely
Physically and
hard.
mentally taxing. Yes.
Oh, it's insanely hard. So anyone who's a swimmer listening to this would know exactly what that is. And I like had this moment. I was like, if I don't turn this around, like this is gonna be the longest practice of my life. And yes, I'm here alone, but it's like the work that you do alone that really shows up later in the competition. And I
Mhm.
had a really pivotal moment there. And I think that changed my trajectory of how I thought. But the other thing too was our coach and then our one teammate who passed was very big on visualization. And so we used it a lot in sport. And I was like, wow, that really helps. So I think on like dark days in the business, I visualize that feeling of whatever that might be. Like, how is it going to feel when I get the meeting with X retailer? How is it going to feel when I get the meeting with my dream client? Like, how does that feeling feel? What am I going to say? And how is it going to execute? And how do I want my manufacturing plant to run? Or how do I want to race? You got to use visualization to get you through the dark times of feeling like you're winning.
You're seeing that stuff that you've been doing over the last 5, 6, 7 years. You're seeing that long in advance, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I am big on visualization. I don't think people think that about me. Like, I'm also kind of like a wing it or I'll figure it out mentality sometimes. But I do have very clear visions of like what I want to do and where I want it to go and how I see it running. And I learned that from swimming.
Yeah. I would tell you, I'm very similar. I think sometimes I'm thinking, I don't have to have all my ducks in a row. I don't have to be super organized every single day. But when I started this with my co-host 3+ years ago now, I remember thinking, holy crap, like one of these days we're going to throw an event and people are going to show up and talk about
Yeah.
mental health. And it's kind of a nice segue with you guys helping us out in August. We're there now. Like we have an event where there's going to
Yeah.
be 200, 300, 400 people on a day where our brands are represented talk about your brand and what you plan on doing on that day and why you felt like it was a need because we needed you. Thank you for stepping up.
No, thank you for inviting me. We love events. We love getting out there. It allows us to show our brand and show our community, but also allows us to show the snacks that we produce. We make vegan gluten-free protein bites. This was a mistake, actually. They weren't going to be vegan or gluten-free, but accidents happen, and ours turned
Happy
out to be
accident. Happy accident.
yeah.
Yep.
And that day we're really looking forward to bringing some of our employees that are in Special Olympics in the athletic field. Actually, all of our employees are in Special Olympics now that I think about it. And they compete to this day. But we're really looking forward to bringing them out there because even though they might not go and engage in the actual activity, they really love it. They really love getting out there. And I think it just amplifies our brand even more. And my hope and goal is to just connect with the community that's going to be there because feel like you have a really strong community.
And we do. And I would tell you, like growing up in Elk Grove, the same way you did in the
Yeah.
area, you think that's always going to be your home and it's always going to be a community. And when we went to go plan this, I think in the beginning, I was like, Lions Park, Cal,
Oh, yes.
right? All this
Yeah.
stuff. We spent so much time there. And then I started talking to people in my community now, and I'm like, wait, I have a new community, and the
Yep.
people in my old community will come out and support. And I think
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing as we look at signups and the people have stepped up. And we shouted out all the partners and sponsors a couple episodes ago, but just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping us. Thank
No,
you for
thank
taking a
you.
chance on that day because
Yeah.
we're new to the space. So thank you for being a part of it. I do want to do this. I know David is working today, so shout out David Mitchell, my co-host, of course. But we always do the David Mitchell mailbag. I'm going to try to not
Oh,
let him down. So I'm going to
okay.
throw you 3 questions, answer the
Okay.
best you can, and we'll go from there.
Got it.
Okay. Number one, as a college student athlete, give us one thing to take home today that you want people to remember from our conversation.
I want people to come home from a college student athlete and remember to visualize your dreams and your goals. It
Yes.
works for your sport, but it also works for your life.
Love that. Second one, you mentioned some setbacks, some trials and tribulations
Mm-hmm.
along the way. I know you've been, really affected by mental health and our community, our One Elk Grove has really been hit hard in this area at several different times. For someone out there struggling, what would you say to them?
Ooh, that's a good question because I struggled a lot. I think one of the best skills I've ever learned is to write 3 things that I loved and had gratitude for that day. And I just write the little things. Like some days, my gratitude is literally my morning cup of coffee.
I see you
That
working on that right now, girl. I see you
uh,
working.
I can't. I got a business coach not too long ago, and he said, no matter how much money you make, you're never going to be happy if you can't find 3 of the smallest things you're grateful for in
Amen.
your day. And he was like, you can be a gazillionaire and it's not going to matter if you're miserable.
Are you
And I
able
was
to
like,
are you able to share him or her?
his name is Mike. He goes by Coach Mike. I don't even know this guy's last name.
Love that. Okay, cool.
But I will say he's given me a couple skills that really help me get out of a funk. Number one is the gratitude, and number two is going off default. So if you are like going through your routine that's monotonous and dull, and like some days on my hardest days, I decide to take a little bit of a different path or approach to my routine, going off default. And it's an eye-opening experience. Maybe it changes my mood around and shows me that I actually do enjoy doing something a little different or a different setting or, whatever that might be. So if you're
Think that
down in the dumps, change it up.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going there, but shout out Coach Mike. Obviously,
Shout out
enough to
Coach
bring him up
Mike.
this morning. I absolutely love that. Third and final thing. This is your episode. We've done a lot of these. I've already had my episode. Has the audience missed anything? Have we missed anything today on Mother's Day Sunday here? The floor is all yours.
Ooh, I just think, Patrick, I was reflecting this morning before our call. And I want to say, like, if I had an opportunity to go back and speak to our high school class, I
I
would
love
say,
it.
like,
Class 2013, girl. Yep.
there we go. I'm like sitting here, I yesterday was at an event and I saw people from high school that I Like you and I never talk. I just want to say to everyone that's listening to this or watching, you have no idea who's in your circle and who's cheering you on. And
Mhm.
just be kind to everyone. Like, be everyone else's cheerleader, like their stuff on Instagram. If you really feel compelled to say something to them, kind, say it. Because, like, I recently posted something on my Facebook page and I had over 75 responses on it from people I haven't talked to since high school. And I
There it
just want to
is.
say, like, man, I wish I knew because when I had really dark days in high school and I felt like very alone and I didn't know anyone. God, I wish I knew that feeling of like, these people are there for you. They don't hate you. There's nothing against you. They just don't know what you're going through. And I just
Just
feel
an
like that's
absolutely
it.
beautiful. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue. I can't even top that. Go ahead.
No, I just, like I'm like thinking about today. I'm like, Patrick and I, like we and you said it too, like we weren't close, but like,
No,
man, I'm a huge cheerleader of yours and you are to me. And I'm really grateful for that. But then watching what happened on Facebook the other day, I was like, there are people reaching out that I haven't heard from in 10 plus years. And it just shows that you're not alone. And if you go out there and put your message into the universe of what you want to happen, people are cheering you on.
I completely agree. And I will end us with this. How we did get reconnected was on a Facebook post that you shared with your branding, and it got connected with our media team. Shout out my guy, Ryan G, our media on the
Love
Me Too East
Ryan.
side, the man. But my point is, he needed somebody local. I saw your post. I knew who you were and the awesome stuff that you were doing. And
Thank
I
you.
was compelled by your brand, protein, special needs, community. And look at what this has turned into over the last couple of years. So I will parlay on that by saying, reach out. I think people sometimes think if they can't give financial capital, that they're not worth it to these brands. A share, a message, a shine a light in some of these situations
Yep.
are the reason we keep going sometimes. Truly.
Yeah,
So
totally
thank you
is.
for being that light for our brand.
Oh,
And we
thank
hope
you.
to in the future to do that for you.
No, you guys already do. I already said that. You guys really do. And I appreciate you guys. And I love Ryan. He's a really, really great guy. And he's very good at
I do
video.
too. I would agree with you. He'll be out that day on the event as well. I
Yeah.
just will tell you this. This has been such a blessing this morning to have you on. I know it's
Thank
Mother's Day.
you.
I know it's a holiday. I just appreciate you. And that's
I
really all
appreciate
I have
you.
to wrap up the episode today. How can they find you? We'll wrap up with that. How can they find you on socials?
Yeah. Social. Go to Fueled by AF. I'm there and I'm working on creating a business account for me, just for me as an
Love that.
entrepreneur to share my knowledge. But like I said earlier, not loving social, so I'm working on it. But follow me at Fueled by AF, and then our website's fueledbyafsnacks.com.
Beautiful. Well, I will tell you, Fueled by AF, come check them out August 8th. Check out their socials. Angelica, you're someone, once again, you're a business mama. You're a great friend. You're such a big asset to our community. It's been great getting to re-know you again as adults. And I can't
Thanks.
wait for our business and a personal relationship in the future, girl.
I can't wait, and I really appreciate you.
Always. Well, everybody have a great Mother's Day weekend.
Happy
It's
Mother's
not too
Day.
late. Spoil your mom. They deserve it. And keep going, everybody. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye.
Really good.